Happy Thursday and welcome back to my Traitors Season 3, Episode 9 recap. I'm still recovering. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to roast it. We're going to recap it. So smash that like, hit that subscribe. Hopefully you're wearing something comfy. Grab a beverage because we have to get this party started.
If you like what you see, come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want, 'cause your heart's made of gold. But don't wait till you're old. If you want it, I get you some.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Stand-up comedian and Traitors superfan Joleen here for another roast and recap of the Traitors on Peacock. Tonight, we're going to be talking about episode 9 of the Traitors US Season 3, A Silent Assassin. The traitors reach a stalemate in the tower while the faithful are challenged to think like a traitor. During the mission, a rivalry comes to a head at the round table, and someone has brought receipts. So smash that like, you guys, if you haven't already. If you want to support the channel further than liking and subscribing, you can always send a super chat while we're live here. I'll highlight your comment. You can send a super thanks. After the video posts, feel free to join my YouTube membership. I gifted some memberships on the earlier stream. So I gifted 10. So if you received that, congratulations. And I don't know if you have to be in the stream to receive it. So some of you might have gotten it and don't even realize. So make sure to check to see if you won. But Traitors. We have to talk about the Traitors. Traitors. What a night, you guys. I kept having to rewind this episode and go back as I just wasn't quite understanding at times. Okay, so let's get into it. Remember, everything I say is true except for the parts that are false. Everything is alleged and obviously for entertainment purposes only.
Allegedly.
Now, I am very opinionated on how I think about this show, but you are welcome to have your opinions too. And we can just agree to disagree, and you can sound off in the live chat and the comment section after the video posts. If you're on the replay crew, hello replay crew, and we can have some fun discussion, because I know not all my faves are your faves and not all your faves are my faves. And I love to hear from you guys. I'm just sending myself now all of the pictures that I want to use for this live. So while I'm doing this, make sure you have smashed that like. I appreciate it so very much. Okay. Almost there. Oh, what a time. What a time. Traitor on traitor crime tonight. This episode. Okay, let me send this to myself. And we are ready. Producer Prince is here. Hello, Prince. Good to see you. Handsome as always, sir. So we start the episode back in the turret with Danielle and with Carolyn, and they have a very important decision to make. Will they murder someone, or will they recruit a new traitor? Obviously, thank you, Prince. Like we saw at the end of last episode, Danielle really wants to get Brittany in as a traitor. You know, that's her girl. That's her buddy. She wants to play with her until the end. And Carolyn's like, no, Danielle, like, girl, I am not stupid. That would be like the worst thing for me to be with you and Brittany. Like, it's your bestie. Like, no, I don't trust that you would take me to the end and not her. That's just not going to happen. So Danielle's like, okay. Well, how about, I don't know. Fine. I guess Carol, she called her Carol at one moment. Did you guys catch that? She's like, all right, Carol, fine. I guess we'll murder someone if that's what you want. And Carolyn's like, just let me think for a minute, Danielle. Let me just think about it. I just have to like get my P's and Q's together. God, girl, seriously, girl. Danielle goes, okay, well, we could murder Sam. You know, we could murder Sam. And Carolyn's like, I don't know if we should murder Sam, because he's guy. I don't know. A lot of people think he hasn't really done a lot in the game. So it's like, And Danielle's like, okay, fine. Well, let's murder. I don't know. We could do a Dylan, right? Let's just do Dylan. Let's just do Dylan. Whatever, Carol. Let's do Dylan. Well, I don't think we should do Dylan either, Danielle. Danielle, Danielle, girl. He trusts us. I don't, that looks kind of sus. No, Carolyn. It'll be like Gabby, because they kind of have a thing going on. So we can play into that feud. It'll be perfect. Girl, I don't know, girl. Not sure. I just have to think. I really got to think. Danielle's like, okay, fine, Carol. All right, Carolyn. Who else? Dolores. I don't really like the idea of Dolores. Danielle, I gotta think. Well, Carolyn, I mean, you won't let Brittany be a traitor. You won't kill Sam. You won't kill Dylan. You won't kill Dolores. Well, I don't know. I just gotta think. I gotta think. Hold on, Danielle, girl. And Danielle's like, oh, whatever. So they really are struggling. And in this moment, as I'm watching, I'm reminded again at how much these two have never been able to get on the same page. Because I was talking to Hype Man husband Chell about it, and he's like, I think it was Rob. I think it was Rob's inclusion into the game that really messed it up for these two. And I get that, but I think this has been from the jump. Even when it was Bob the drag queen, and Danielle, they seemed to mesh and be on the same page. And Carolyn was kind of always on the outs, which is why they both were so quick to be like, let's put Carolyn in the coffin. And Boston Rob was actually like, no, we don't have to put Carolyn in the coffin because, we don't got to put a trait in there. We don't got to put that sus on ourselves because the sus is already going to go on whoever we put in the coffin. So they're going to think. And Boston Rob was right about that, because every single person who was in the coffin theory, Jeremy, first of all, was the one that was murdered in it. And then Sierra and wrestler lady, I'm so sorry, I already forgot her name. And she was a delight. They were banished because of this coffin theory. So I just think it's that never, ever, ever were they on the same page, which is so frustrating because I enjoy both of them so very much. Well, going into this game, obviously, I was a big Danielle Reyes fan after Big Brother. Being a big Big Brother fan, I didn't know much about Carolyn, but what I did see of her preseason and her being from Minnesota, I'll be honest, I really like people from Minnesota for the most part. They're kind of some of my faves. All right. And I liked her vibes. I liked her energy. So I thought, oh, these two can really work together. And it just never was happening. Thank you, Pop Culture Musings. Everything I am obsessing over for the first super chat of the live. Greetings from Minnesota. Speaking of Minnesota, I mean, it's just, we call it God's country for a reason. Okay, moving on. This isn't just for Minnesotans. This is for everybody. And like Haru says, don't forget to hit that like button. So as I'm watching their exchange in the turret, this was the first time I felt a little upset with Carolyn, because I felt like, and it could be the edit too, but it felt like, I played it back a few times, Danielle was throwing out idea after idea. And granted, Carolyn just despises Danielle now, because she feels as though Danielle, she took the first shot to go after Carolyn. It didn't need to happen. Danielle was playing in a very strange way. Instead of just going after Boston Rob, she thought, I'm going to take out Boston Rob's biggest ally, being Carolyn, when really you could have just teamed up with Carolyn and went after Boston Rob. But Danielle never thought she could trust Carolyn, because she thought Carolyn and Rob were together. And Rob was going to take Carolyn to the end, but Carolyn's like, I don't know. I'd take Boston Rob out. I'll take him out. I don't care. Like, girl. But in this moment, it's like Danielle's throwing out all of these scenarios, and Carolyn's like, it's like that commercial with the kid that is in the grocery store with the mom, and they're like, string cheese? I don't think I like that. Water? I don't think I like suggesting everything, and yet they cannot agree on it. So it was the first time I had a little bit of that feeling of frustration with Carolyn in the turret, where I'm like, okay, well, that's 4 suggestions she made. Make Brittany a traitor, which I get 100%. If I was Carolyn, I'd be like, no, girl, no, that is your best friend. You guys are going to come after me. But then when she was like, murder Dylan, and then Carolyn's like, no. And I get it. Okay, maybe, because Carolyn's thinking now she has opened up to Dylan. Dylan trusts her. She can utilize Dylan. And then Dolores, I'm thinking, who cares? Murder Dolores. You know what I mean? I mean, she is one of the most faithful of the faithfuls, but Tom Sandy Butt has been thrown out her name. You could possibly frame Tom Sandoval, even I don't think anyone thinks he's smart enough, no offense, all offense, to be a traitor. But okay. And then when Danielle said Sam Spears, I was like, yeah. I mean, I see a lot of people want to kind of hate on Sam and go, Sam didn't do anything. No, Sam told you exactly what he did. Sam is a listener. For someone who never played a game like this, we only know him, no offense, all offense, for being once married to Britney Spears. He played this game pretty well. He listened a lot. And then when he had theories, they were pretty good theories. They weren't that bad. And he was asking questions. Could he have branched out more? Could he have made, more relationships that could have helped him in the game? Sure, 100%. But not that bad. I would have been like, hell, kill Sam. Sure, he's attractive, but he's also on to a lot of the traitor stuff. So let's just, bye, get out a guy. See you later. Peace out. And when there was pushback from Carolyn, I'm like, why is there pushback from Carolyn on this one? So I think it just had so much to do with her distrust and resentment and anger that has built up against Danielle. Like Anna saying, Carolyn was too caught up in not giving Danielle what she wanted that she never thought how to use the recruitment as a strategy. Yeah. And how they could have decided, hell, bring in Dylan, recruit him. I was very disappointed that they didn't recruit anybody because I wanted to see a recruitment. And I think a recruitment could have went down. And maybe they wouldn't be in the situation they were in now. Or they are in now. So Brittany, no, I wouldn't have let Brittany, if I was Carolyn, be recruited as a traitor. 100% no. But why not one of the guys? Why not Bridge? I mean, recruit Ivor. See what he does. They could throw him under the bus so easy. For a minute, I was like, they should recruit Tom Sandoval. They should recruit Tom Sandoval. Why not? He'll be so easy to throw under the bus. I mean, Carolyn really, I think she could have utilized that. She's close with Tom, allegedly, and she really likes him, allegedly. I don't know why, but she does. Okay, I do know why. She doesn't know really who he is as a person, but that's okay. I'll forgive her for that for now. But I think they could have utilized Tom Sandy Butt, But yeah, Pamela said Danielle is right where she wanted to be. So ultimately, it ends, or the beginning, the ending of their turret conversation is like, all right. You sure about this, Carolyn? Carolyn's like, yeah, let's girl sign it. Let's do it. Let's go. So then we see breakfast the next morning. We still don't know who they selected. And the first people to walk into breakfast is Carolyn and Gabby. And Gabby, one of the first things she said, Carolyn comes in and she's like, hey, Gabby, what's up, girl? Good to, yeah. Is this where we have breakfast? I'm pretty sure it is. Okay, cool. And Gabby's like, hi, Carolyn. Okay, so I'm really into this Danielle thing. I think it's kind of like Danielle, right? Are you onto that? And Carolyn, lights go off. She's like, mm-hmm. She doesn't want to push it too much, but she's like, yeah. Because a lot of people are just like, the crying, and it's like it's like a lot of emotion. I don't know if I completely believe it. So I think I'm really like going to go forward on this Danielle thing, I think. And Carolyn's like, okay, great. Then Danielle, let's see. Okay. So then Tom Sandoval comes in. I think Dolores comes in toward the end. And, Tom Sandoval's like, so guys, I am, Mom. Having a good time. What do you guys think? Having a good time. And then, let's see. Danielle gives... Okay, that's later. Ultimately, It comes down to the last two, which to be murdered, which is between Dylan Efron and Sam Spears. And it's Sam Spears. And I'm like, we could have just agreed on that right out the gate. I don't think murdering Sam should have had any pushback at all. But again, I think it's like I've talked about, and like Anna brought up in the chat, it's that Carolyn is just so over Danielle, and Danielle throwing her name out there, that she just isn't going to give her anything that she deems would be something that she wants or that works for her. You know, Pop Culture Musings, everything I'm obsessed over says, Carolyn's unraveling gave me so much anxiety I could barely watch. Rebecca says, Danielle could have told Carolyn she wanted revenge on Brittany because of Big Brother reindeer games. And the sus was already on her, so they could banish her next and get out a traitor. There's so much, but again, this is one of the least successful traitor relationships we've ever seen, is between Danielle and Carolyn. And I think it was so unnecessary that these two women could not get on the same page in this game. It's unnecessary, it's unfortunate, and it's one of the regrets I'll have my whole life. I'll carry this my whole life, that these two lovies, who I am just like, oh my God, two badass bees right here, could not get on the same page and just, you know, work together. You know, I got work to do. We got work, babe. We got work. I got a job, babe. I got a job to do. Haru says, I feel like Danielle was doing too much with emoting sorrow through, way too much. And we'll talk about that, especially at the end of this episode. Oh my God. So much. Okay. So Sam is gone. Alan comes in, and Alan is just, you know, well, Sam is sexy and great, but he's gone and he's dead now, but his body lives on in my head. Now, he didn't say that, or his body lives on in my boner. He didn't say that either, because he doesn't sexually harass the people that come on the show. But he came in with, like, Alan's looks on tonight's episode were just fantastic. Look at this. What are those little kids and people called that are on the Grinch? The Whoville. He looks like a Whoville ponytail with the Al Franken glasses, with a very Alice in Wonderland attire. He just looks so good. I was like, oh my gosh, Alan. Alan. Dear Sam is now gone. Sam Spears. Sam Spears. Yeah, the shaking's too much. Too much. There was zero trust between the women. Unfortunately, they just were at that point. Like Thomas is saying, everyone thought Danielle was going to go before Carolyn did in this episode. We got the Danielle, and we'll talk about that too, Thomas. Great point. And we will talk about that. And so Sam leaves, and we don't see him because he's murdered. And then we have the post-breakfast discussions, which have become kind of my favorite part of the day, because so much goes on and so much happens in the post-breakfast discussions / right before the mission. I think Alan alludes to something, you know, but later on we'll see the competition is about chess, and we have two queens of reality television and the Traitors come to kind of host this competition. But during these conversations, we have Danielle, we have Dylan kind of admitting that he's ready to go after Danielle, and Carolyn's like, yeah, I mean, okay. I mean, I can't say for sure that she's like a traitor, but I think so. I don't know, Dylan. And, you know, Dylan's like, I think I do know. And I hate to say this, but I think it's Danielle. And, you know, Dylan has been sus of Danielle, and he was really sus after last episode, and he came out from behind the bookshelf, and Danielle's like, well, what are you doing back there? You're sus, you know? So then we have Danielle talking to Dolores, and Danielle basically telling Dolores, here's what to look for in a traitor. So we're seeing Danielle not be so obvious. We're seeing the kind of remnants of the big brother Danielle that we know, dropping seeds, planting seeds, without specifically saying, it's Carolyn. Let's get Carolyn. She's weird, right? Without saying that to Dolores, she instead explains to Dolores, have you noticed that the traitors at the round table act, they're really like kind of aggressive and really out there and loud. And the rest of us, who aren't traitors, like us faithfuls, we're like so poised. And Dolores is like, I do see that sometimes. Yeah, just something to think about. Yeah. People have done that, right? Yeah. There's people who are here who have done that. So that's what I look for when I'm trying to find a traitor. Like, who's been just like, attacky and not really poised and proper. And Dolores is like, oh yeah. Dolores is thinking, what's poised and proper? I'm from the Real Housewives of New Jersey. I'm from Patterson. I'll cut a bitch. And I'll tell you right before I do. So, but I think Danielle does a pretty decent job here, just offering advice to Dolores. Just being like, hey, have you noticed this? Let's talk about it. Let's see. Then we have, I can't read my own notes. I say Danielle BS Carolyn talks. I don't know what BS is. Bullshitting, but okay. Then Brittany and Danielle have a heart-to-heart, and they bring up Carolyn. So Danielle is trying to continue to solidify this newfound trust after Big Brother Reindeer games with Brittany, and saying, like, I'm just so happy I'm here with you. I'm so happy I'm here with you. I'm so happy I'm here with you. I am more happy that I'm here with you. And then they're crying. And then Danielle has a crying confessional where she says, I just hope that Brittany, I'm glad I can work with her, but I just hope that when this all comes out and that she can forgive me. Because after what happened to Daddy Derek, and I'm like, oh, geez. She didn't bring up Derek, but I felt like it was like tears again. Maybe even how Danielle got upset about the Derek situation, while stabbing him and murdering him. So they have their little heart-to-heart moments, and they talk. Let me see. I think I have a little clip of this. Let me find it for you guys. If you haven't already, please smash that like. You are all so appreciated, and keep sounding off in the live chat and let me know what you're thinking about this crazy episode. Okay, so here we got some. Oh, okay. Tom Sandoval talking. I forgot about this part. I don't know how I could have. Tom Sandoval talking to Gabby. Gabby's like, oh, hey, Tom. Hey, Tom, I guess, are you going to stand by me? That's cool. For how long? Okay. That's like kind of a long time. Just like a couple minutes. I think I could stand like a couple minutes, but like not like longer than that, right? Okay, cool. Okay, thank you. Great. Yeah, I think it's awesome that you're still here. You're like, okay. Yeah, okay. And Tom's like, oh, yeah, okay. I think it's Dolores. Yeah. So the minute people are like, Tom's kind of smart. No, this is the Tom Sandoval. He's like, I think it's Dolores. Yeah, she's being kind of sus because she's not being like super nice to me.
Just fucking red flags. Yeah. You play a very fair game.
So Tom's like, I just think it's fucking Dolores because there's so many red flags with her. I can't stand it. And then you see Dolores walking by going, Danielle, you play a really good game. You do. Your family's going to be proud of you. Your church is going to be proud of you. Any children you know are going to be proud of you. Pets are going to be proud of you. 3-legged pets, 2-legged pets, 4-legged pets, 6-legged pets. Everyone's going to be so proud of you. You're doing a really noble job. And Danielle's like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You can leave here proud to your family.
It's like you can leave here proud to your family.
If you're in her, well, we're trying to get shields for the no, you guys take it.
So then Tom's like, well, I just think that it's Dolores because when we tried to get shields, sometimes she was like, oh no, you guys take it.
She got very fucking defensive.
But when I came at her at the fucking table, she got very defensive. And I was like, dude, that's sauce. Because Tom's like, any woman that challenges him, he's like, yeah, sus.
If they haven't already.
And how she came at me.
So I feel like we're gonna see some drama.
Gabby's like, yeah, I guess, Tom, that could be a thing, but I feel like we're gonna, see some drama for sure. Tom's like, oh, yeah, I know, because I'm like the number one guy in this game. Is Jax Taylor here? No, I'm the number one guy in the game. Seriously. So Tom is just Dolores, and nobody else. This is when Danielle has the conversation with Dolores saying, I've been playing scared. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm going to,
If the traitors suspect you or onto them or anything, right?
She says, you play this game with fear because if the traitors suspect that you're onto them or anything, you're in trouble. You're trying to not be killed. But I'm done with that.
Gets on my last nerve. I'm so done with her.
And this is when Danielle decides, Carolyn gets on my last nerves. I'm so done with her. She has no idea what I'm about to put down. And right when Danielle said that, right when we got Danielle in her Arby's hat or whatever's going on with Danielle's hats this season, I was like, oh, Carolyn, you're in danger. You're in danger, girl. Because big brother Danielle Reyes is coming out. She's coming out. She wants the world to know. Carolyn, you're in trouble. I knew it. Right when she said, all right, I guess I got to do what I got to do. Once the tears and the acting and all that facade came down, and she was in her confessional and she just looked right at that camera. She was like, you have no idea what I'm about to throw down. And I was like, we're in danger. Yes, Danielle was activated. You have activated Danielle. The Danielle I've been looking for a lot of the season was now activated. And I was like, oh shit, this could be Carolyn's last stand. Unless somehow, I did really think Carolyn had a good chance of winning this game, given that every person who left the game, when they found out who the traitors were, they were just gobsmacked that Carolyn was a traitor, and no one in the game was really questioning her. But I think Danielle obviously was able to do enough damage previously and on this episode that ultimately... and when Danielle said she's not going to see it coming, I'm like, oh, here we go.
Especially with Gabby. She's very smart. And I can just see how she can manipulate information.
And then...
But I also need to learn and evolve. So maybe I need to...
Then we have a Dylan and Gabby situation and a little conversation. And Dylan's like, yeah, I guess I got to talk to Gabby. I have to... she's really smart, and I have to... see what's going on there and maybe just not vote for her anymore, or she vote for me, and maybe we could work together. So now Dylan's like, I think you would have killed me right by now if I was a traitor. And Gabby's like, yes, I would have killed you. If I had the power, Dylan, I've got the power. It's getting kind of, I would have 100% killed you, and enjoyed it. And smiled, and I would have probably worn my best outfit. I would have killed you. Dylan's like, I know. So now Dylan is like, okay, Dylan has this epiphany, since I'm still in the game and I should have arguably been murdered by the traitors by now. I think it's someone I really trust, someone I know, someone I love, someone who loves me. And so now he's worried, could it be Danielle, who he, has had his suspicions about? And maybe they're keeping him in to the end game because they trust me. And Gabby is so funny about this. She's like, oh yeah, that's nice. She's like, I've been accused so many times by Dylan of being a traitor, and now he wants to work with me. Now he wants to. You know what, ladies? This is always how it is. All ladies, I wish I had my, okay, hold on. Ladies, seriously, I have to put my shades on for this because I get sunburned. This happens so much. These guys are not that bright, but I am. But literally, ladies, this happens all the time. They always do this. They always come back. He's pushing me away. He's like, oh, you're a traitor. oh, you're lying. And then all of a sudden, knock, knock, knock. Hello? Oh, yeah. Hey, the same guy that just pushed me away wants me back? Shocker. Ladies, that's why I'm here today to talk to you about lesbianism. Lesbianism isn't just something that happens after you're on a really shitty season of The Bachelor or Bachelorette. It's something I think is in all of us. Okay? We could harvest the seed of the men and then have our lady friends insert it in us to procreate. We just need to keep a couple alive in incubators. But really, I want you to know that it is a better life with a woman between your legs. Thank you. As a woman with a woman between your legs. Thank you. So Gabby is just, she's just a freaking delight. I love this chick. They always come back. And she's right. They do. Listen to every Olivia Rodrigo song. They always come back. Olivia knows what's up too. Mark my ways, girl. They're always coming back. So Gabby's like, yeah. And then Dylan's like, where do you stand on Brittany and Danielle? And Gabby's like, I'm more on Danielle. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's a traitor. And that's when Dylan said, I think so too. So I'm like, uh-oh, Danielle's in trouble. But we still haven't seen what Danielle has up her sleeve. And then Dylan says, Danielle is my most trusted ally in this game. But she's also trusted and loved still by so many people in the house, which I'm like, is she though? I mean, he's really feeling that he has to reevaluate everyone. And Dylan's like, I like this teamwork. And Gabby's like, yeah, right? Like, who would have thought? Anyways, I'm going to go over outside. So, like, don't follow me. We're, like, totally working together. But I'm, like, going to find some girls. Okay, but, like, nothing personal. But I've, like, seen enough chest hair for today. Thank you. And she walks away. And this is quickly becoming, like, okay, maybe Danielle is in trouble, but yet I haven't seen yet what she's going to do to Carolyn yet. So then Carolyn and Dylan have a conversation, and Carolyn's like, okay, Dylan is finally hearing a girl, like what I have to say in this game. And it's like with Danielle, so I'm telling Dylan, I'm like, listen, I just don't know if I can trust Danielle. Like, I don't want to throw out her name, but Carolyn's like, okay. Or yeah, because Dylan's like, I think I'm going to vote for Danielle. Yeah, I think I'm going to vote for Danielle. And Carolyn's like, I mean, I don't know for sure. So like, okay, so like how many people are still here? Is it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? He's like 8. She's like, oh my God, holy fuck. Holy fudge. That's a lot of people. Oh my God. Fuck. I'm scared. So Carolyn's worried. She's like, it's scary. Do I go out there? Do I tell my truth? Or what? Do I put myself out there? Do I go really hard for Danielle and speak the truth that I know about her? Or is it too soon to turn on Danielle? And this is something that she will later regret in the episode. Then we have the Brittany and Danielle conversation. Like, I would die if you weren't in this game. Me too. Me too. And Brittany's like, I would love nothing more than for us to get to the end of the game. It would be so amazing. Get together and just. And Danielle's like, Brittany, I love you too. Danielle's like, I don't know. She said I was going to be hurt. She was going to be hurt. If I wasn't coming back, and now I feel a little bad. This is like shit. Guess what? Brittany, I'm a fucking traitor. Me. Yeah. So she's having her emotional moment like, will Brittany forgive me if she finds out that I'm a traitor? So seeds have been planted. Things are happening. It looks like it's down. It's going to be down to Carolyn versus Danielle, but we have a competition still to earn money. And we have Tom Sandoval walking around going, dude, it's fucking Dolores. She's like a walking red flag. Yeah, I'm serious. She is. She got snippety with me. Not cool. Not cool. So, BB, so you should go back and watch Gabby as the or she was the Bachelorette. Oh my Lord. That must have been such an entertaining season. Yeah, Gabby's great. Great. So we get to the competition. We have 2 icons come visit to host this competition. Kate and Parvati arrive, and the players are on a chessboard. It is a game of chess with questions of how the traitors really feel. Who's the snakiest, who's the this, who's the that, who's the one running the game, leader of the pack. And the only twist in it is they're not going to be answering it what they think as a team. And it wasn't questions that were asked of everyone. It was questions asked to the traitors. And then the traitors came up with the answers. So everybody, including traitors and faithfuls, have to work together to figure out what the traitor said, what their answer was. Obviously, the traitors know what the traitor's answer was, but they have to be very careful because they want to earn money, obviously, but they can't be too pushy on the right answers or people might go, that's a little sus. So we see this project or this, the progress of it, back and forth of being in the game, in the chess game, and also back at the turret when they're answering the questions about their fellow players. And that's Carol and Danielle, obviously answering these questions. And there are some big mistakes that happen. And this is where Danielle's big brother experience and her game comes in to play. Oh, I love when Parvati and Kate arrive. And Dolores, any last minute tips, guys? And Kate's like, just trust everybody. Kate Chastain. I don't know much about being a traitor, being a good traitor, but I knew about being a good queen. So they release these chess pieces. There are questions that are asked. Brittany gets chosen twice as an answer. So it's who's flying under the radar. They choose Brittany because Danielle remembers that that's what Sierra said recently, that Brittany's just flying under the radar and she's been kind of, coasting, and she doesn't want to she thinks it'll draw less attention to her since she's Brittany's friend. She wouldn't pick Brittany for these answers. So Brittany gets picked for that. And it seems to be something that all the traitors can agree on because they're like, oh yeah, we did just hear Sierra say that. Now Danielle, she's doing a little too much at first. Thank you, Chickenhead PK, Darkface Neely for the second super chat of the live. Appreciate you. Says Tom is Delulu. Tom says being Delulu is the Solulu. Yes. Yeah, Parvati looked beautiful. Kate looked beautiful. Just gorgeous queen showing up. And Dylan's starting to be like, oh, shit. This is why they should have either made Dylan a traitor or they should have murdered him because he's smart. Okay, but I mean, Sam's smart too. But Dylan has kind of been plugged in since the beginning, even though I think Sam was plugged in, but Dylan's been plugged in vocal since the beginning. So Dylan is saying, I need to pay attention to these traitors and I need to pay attention to their answers because or everybody and kind of, I already think it's someone that I'm close to. So I'm going to watch Danielle. I'm going to watch Carolyn. I'm going to watch these people and how they answer. And so if they do too much, Dylan is definitely picking up on that. He's like, I'll let them talk. I'll let them give themselves away. He's watching Danielle very closely. And Danielle was like, yeah, what happened? And Dolores like, so recently Brittany was accused of flying under the radar. Brittany's like, okay, yep. I get that. I get it. So then they have another question. What was the second question here? This is when my phone died and I couldn't take my notes anymore. Or no, I recorded it. That's why I didn't take my notes. My phone died after this. Okay. So ultimately they have one that's like, who's the leader of the pack? You know, who's doing the damn thing? Tom Sandoval's like, it's me, y'all. It's me. Yeah, it's 100% me. I think it's me. I mean, I kind of sussed out. And they're like, but I think it's Dylan. I think it's Dylan. And that's when Carolyn speaks up a little too much. Carolyn's like, why, Mina? Why? I just think maybe Ty. Yeah. So Carolyn is kind of starting to speak up a little more than she should. She should kind of played it more low key. They're like, who's the biggest threat to the traitors? Tom's like, I mean, obviously, it's me. I'm the biggest threat to the traitors. And they end up saying Tom, but they really know it's Dylan. But they say Tom because they don't want Dylan to come back on them. Actually, I think they say Brittany in this one. Who do you think the traitors thought is the biggest? Please discuss. Biggest threat. So I love how Parvati and Kate Chastain are like, Tom's like, I would like to vote for myself. And they're like, of course he's going to say himself. Interesting. They were throwing a lot of shade at Tom Sandy, but you know, I appreciate that.
I think with that last expulsion with Robin, it's like gotten us to work together. Yeah. And go more off of evidence instead of like they gave me a weird look. You know what I mean? I agree with Tom.
Tom says, I think since that expulsion, you know, what did he say exactly there? We got to listen to that. Okay, hold on.
Expulsion with Robin. It's like
I think that expulsion with Rob, I think it got people to like really think about like actual evidence being me, i.e. me, Tom Sandoval. This is where you see the Tom ego that is people are very well aware of if you watch Bravo. He has a very high opinion of himself, despite sometimes pretending he doesn't. It always comes out. And he's like, you know, before then, basically he's saying before then, everyone was just like, you looked at me weird. He's like, people saying, you know, it's a weird look. Now we're going on like evidence because I opened it up to the evidence. I'm like, okay, Tom, calm your boner.
Yeah. We go more off of evidence instead of like they gave me a weird look. You know what I mean? I agree with Tom.
Gabby's like, I agree with Tom. That's fine. Whatever. As long as he'll stop talking or doesn't stand by me because his armpits kind of smell like raw red onions. Not like regular onions, but like worse. Like red ones. Yeah.
Me. Stating that I'm the biggest threat, especially in this game, is not a very safe place. But if there has to be,
then why would you do it, Tom? It's because his ego.
I feel like it's me.
I had to laugh. It's not you, Tom. You're not the biggest threat. But we'll let you believe it. So it goes right to Dylan and then takes a sharp turn. Who will it land on? Not Tom. The suspense, you guys, the suspense. It's Brittany again. And Tom's like, oh, it's obviously they were lying because I'm clearly the biggest threat. Alessandra says, yeah, Ivor is a bigger threat than Tom. For real, though, Ivor has had better reads than Tom. Okay. Tom had, you know, he did finally push toward the Rob thing, but he, you know, that was after quite a few people had opened up that conversation and helped him with that.
She's my girl. And she knows that I don't find her a threat at all.
So Danielle's like, well, Brittany knows she's my girl, and she knows that I don't find her a threat at all. So Danielle is looking at these questions very strategically. for herself, so she doesn't look sus, and even to others to protect her traitor one. So then the next question is, who's the leader of the pack? So it's just who's the biggest threat. And now it's who's the leader of the pack. And they say, well, obviously it's Dylan, but we can't say Dylan because then it points it back to both of us as traitors. So then I think Tom, Carolyn says, and Danielle says, and he's too arrogant to not say his name, even if he was a traitor. So they pick Tom. And I love that, like, everyone, like, they realize that Tom's arrogance is the thing that is his biggest downfall. So the leader of the pack, people are, Gabby's like, I think it's Dylan. And Tom goes, I think it's me. I think it's me. And again, Poverty and Kate are like, of course he does. Of course you do, Tom. That's so cute. That's so cute that you think it's you. But you're not. They're like, is he choosing himself again? Yes, he's choosing himself again. Okay. And then Kate goes, I don't know if it's like a good thing if you want to say you're the leader of a pack of liars, but okay. And then everyone else is like, no, I'm gonna give it to Dylan because he called out like the biggest traitor first. And Tom, you could see him back there like, well, did he? I don't know. I thought I did. And you're like, no, it was always Dylan. It was always Dylan, Tommy. Always Dylan. So everyone's going for Dylan. And then Carolyn comes back and goes, what Tom just said, I don't want to sweep a girl. I don't want to sweep it under the rug. Okay. I just think maybe it could be Tom. People are like, and I'm thinking, Carolyn, it's only 5 G's. If you get to the end, it's okay. Like you're still, I think they already banked at that point before this competition, like $140,000. So save the $5,000 and the fighting for Tom. You don't want to be the lone ranger up there fighting for Tom. And Carolyn's like, and they're like, no, I think it's Dylan. And then Carolyn goes, I don't know. I mean, Dylan's been wrong. She's been wrong before. And that's when Dylan starts looking at Carolyn like, huh? And Danielle's like, Carolyn, you're doing exactly what I wanted you to do. Is too much. So Danielle's like, Carolyn's being very vocal. So I'm hoping that these faithfuls are now sniffing her out. So it's faithful on faithful crime happening. And now Carolyn's still pushing it. Well, I mean, how many votes for Tom? And Tom goes, I still think it's me. I still think, right, Miss T? We know, me and Miss T, Bravo aficionados, Vanderpump aficionado. We know how Tom works. Tom always thinks it's Tom. Tom thinks he's the number one guy in the group. And Gabby's like, I think it's Dylan. And then they vote. Tom didn't vote. And then they said that Kate and Parvati were saying they get Pete the pilot vibes from Dylan. A cooler Pete the pilot. But Pilot Pete, Dylan Efron is the most faithful of the faithful. So they're definitely not wrong with that. Obviously, the answer is not Dylan, it's Tom Sandoval. They selected him to have the scent off of themselves as traitors. And now Carolyn sits as the only one who kind of knew. And it just isn't looking good for Carolyn. And Tom's like, oh my God, I am the leader of the pack. Oh. Tom was so happy. Tom says, I feel like it's actually really fitting because I've always kind of felt like a lone wolf. What? So ultimately, they're able, the last mistake Carolyn makes is the person, I think it's like the category is like the person who is disregarded the most, who's not listened to. I think that's what it is. Okay, let's see if that's. All right. Like a lone wolf, Tom says. All right, let's
Easily
listen.
could have been either one.
Either one. Yeah.
Carolyn was on it. She was like, no, I think it's Tom. No, I didn't say that. Oh.
So then they're on Carolyn. Like Dolores goes, Carolyn was on it. She was like, no, I think it's Tom. And Carolyn's like, I didn't say that. What? Dolores, you're crazy. I didn't say that. And everyone's like, yeah, you did. We literally just heard you. So I don't think I said that. Did I? I don't. Are you guys okay? I don't think I said that. Did I say that? I don't know. Poor Carolyn.
No, I never said that. I'm not.
I never said that.
No, I was saying.
And then Carolyn's like, well, I'm not. Dolores is like, well, I'm not saying you're a traitor. And Carolyn's like, I'm not. And Ivor's like, yes, you are. Yes, you are.
He's the leader, but that's also in line with his character.
Yes, Dylan says Tom was very certain that he was the leader, but that's also in line with his character. We expect Tom Sandoval, who is cocky and an egomaniac, to think that he is the star of the show and the leader.
Second voice was Carolyn, and I know she has a soft spot for Tom. So now everything that Carolyn does, Dylan's looking at, because he's like, Carolyn, I know she has a soft spot for Tom, which makes me shudder and keeps me up at night, to be honest, you guys. But now it's making Dylan second guess and look at everything that Carolyn does. Carolyn has been handpicking these answers.
Because he's saying now the signs are pointing to Carolyn has been handpicking these answers.
The question the traitors were asked is, whose voice is the most irrelevant?
Whose voice is the most irrelevant? And here's the biggest mistake Carolyn makes. Carolyn says, I mean, it's me. I mean, I feel like I'm the one. The problem is the only person who really believes that is Carolyn. Despite how people act around her, no one has actively said, okay, Carolyn, besides maybe Danielle. But so she's really the only one heard saying this. And so her putting herself out there, and Danielle's like, okay, yeah, go ahead, go girl, go ahead, put yourself out there. So it's similar. This is very similar to if Carolyn would have volunteered to put herself, or she would have agreed to when they suggested she put herself in the coffin. This is basically just another way to put herself in the coffin. Trying to hide in plain sight like that? No. Through being a part of the game and putting yourself out there. Unfortunately, I was like, no, Carolyn, no. And people are like, no, Carolyn. And Carolyn's like, well, I mean, obviously it's me. No one listens to me. And they're like, no, that's, we don't think that way. We've only heard you say that. And the traitor had to pick the answer. So then that just leans more toward Carolyn being the traitor. So this really was Carolyn up until now had been so in the clear of people never guessing. There was even a conversation between, I think, Tom Sandoval and Ivor questioning, could it be Carolyn? Could Carolyn could she be a traitor? And they were in the study talking about this, and they're like, no. Of course, Tom Sandoval's like, a woman? No way. HFG says, I think Carolyn was triggered by that question in the challenge and lost her footing. I think so too, because I understand that Carolyn feels this very strongly. And you do pick up the vibes. I mean, ever since she's been a traitor, the vibes are there that her voice was disregarded more than any others, because with Carolyn being neurospicy, and as myself being someone who's neurospicy, the way that she might be thinking, processing, talking isn't necessarily going to be the same way as everybody else. So they're going to look at you like either, okay, they're going to underestimate you and be like, okay, ignore you, talk over you. And people might not even realize they're doing that, and then also she could have, rejection sensitivity. I know that is a real thing for a lot of us ADHD peeps. So she could already be on edge because of her delivery and the way her mind works and her impulsivity, which she'll talk about later in the episode. I think all those things kind of play in that question. and this not only being something within the game, but this being something within her life that she feels. She feels at her core that she has always been someone who's not taken seriously, who's not listened to, and who's disregarded. And as much as you can make jokes about it, and as much as you are just like, well, that's who I am, and you can use it in these games to kind of get further, it still feels shitty as a person. And I say that from my own personal experience. So that's my own kind of conjecture with to this of that's how I immediately bonded to Carolyn, I feel like, as a viewer, because a lot of the things she was saying about how she communicates, how she feels as though she comes off to others, was something that I could 100% relate to. And so I think that HFG, I think you're correct in that was just something that triggered her. And she was like, yeah, I mean, that is how I feel. And so just put me down. Where really they could have put Ivor down. They could have put anyone else down but Carolyn. But Carolyn, that has become like a core thought about herself in her head, the way she is perceived and underestimated and not listened to by other people. So Lucy says, I was starting to root for Carolyn to win it all. I was starting to lose hope about 10% for the last 3 to 4 episodes, though. But yeah, it was a horrible, horrible, horrible mistake that came back and bit Carolyn in the booty. So we go back to the castle, and we have a little bit of discussion before we are going to be going to the round table. But ultimately, it seems like there's going to be this push because Ivor decides to spill the beans to Danielle when they're in the kitchen talking. It's like Danielle and Dolores, I think Ivor. And like, you know, everyone's like, who are we thinking about tonight? And Ivor's like, well, I know your name has been thrown around. And Danielle's like, I'm sorry, me? You talking about me? You talking about me? And he was like, yes, Carolyn. And oh shit. Danielle's like, really? Okay. All right. Well, then I'm just going to continue to bury her, I guess. She's throwing my name out. I was like, well, I mean, she did say maybe something about, if I can remember correctly, yeah, I think she did. Like, oh shit. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And so we get to the round table, and the looks are so real. The looks are so angry. The way Carol is looking over at Danielle, like, and Ivor's like, maybe I'll start. And I'm like, okay, Ivor, go ahead, big mouth. Go ahead, big mouth, Ivor. You're going, no offense, all offense to Ivor. That's, you know, part of the job. That's what he's doing. But I'm like, okay, I guess go ahead. What do you have to say? And Carolyn's just like, Ivor goes, I think there's a good chance that it is women who are left, that there are 2 traitors and they are both women. And Gabby immediately is like, okay, first of all, you weren't here from my lesbianism conversation, and I can't recruit you because you identify as a man. But anyways, I don't think we can go there right now. I don't think we can go fully there. Okay. So let's just calm that down a little bit, Ivor. I'm going to need you to calm your British boner about calling out the ladies. And then that is when Carolyn goes, well, I guess I'll go, Danielle. Yeah, Danielle. I feel like if you are, you know, a faithful, like I'm a faithful, then you shouldn't have to lie. Why would you lie? Which is stuff she was starting to say to people in the house that day of her sus on Danielle, to the point where when she was talking to Dylan Efron before the round table, he was kind of thrown out, well, I'm your name, you know, people are, and she's like, me? What? This is how it is. And she gets emotional with him. And he's like, Dylan then gets emotional because he's seen her play on Survivor and he sees the way she plays. And he wants to believe, you know, like, yeah, she's this genuine person. And so he's having a harder time really believing she could be a traitor because she's like, this is always how it is. People always underestimate me and they don't listen to me. And it just like, she just can't, you know, relate to other people. So, girl. HFG said, yeah. And then when we got to this round table, that's when we saw the Danielle Reyes we know. So Carolyn calls out Danielle and like, you wouldn't have to lie if you're a traitor, right? Or if you're a faithful, right? And then Danielle starts hitting her with some facts and right out the gate. Now this part could just be my sensitivity to it, but when she told Carolyn, I think you're playing dumb. I think you're playing that up. And I think you're Forrest Gumping. I was like, okay, that's probably not the best choice of words for someone who's got the little neuro spicy. Probably not the best choice of words to be Forrest Gump. Like, you're playing stupid. I don't think you are. I think it's an act. And Carolyn's like, oh, right. Okay. And she calls her a silent assassin. What did you guys think of that? Calling her out. And Carolyn's like, oh, silent assassin. What? I don't even know what that is. And Carolyn's like, I'm not done. And Danielle's like, well, I'm going to start now because you've called me out. Carolyn's like, well, I guess I can't finish. And she keeps looking over at Dylan like, see what I'm talking about? Like, nobody lets me talk. I'm sensitive about this because people just don't let me talk. And I just want to be able to have my say. And it was Danielle who came at me. And I was like, could someone explain to me what happened? And Danielle goes, go ahead, explain it. Go ahead. No, you're fine. And Carolyn's just like, and then Brittany says, well, what happened was Danielle said that Carolyn was saying my name. And Carolyn's like, and I didn't say her name. So like, why would she lie like this? And Danielle said, I'm not lying, Carolyn. It's 100% true that you did say her name. And I think this is all an act. And I think you know it's an act. And I think you're Forrest Gumping it. And I don't like it. And I'm like, oh, my dear sweet Lord, what is going on? So really within this round table, let's listen to a little bit of the audio here. Oh wait, no, that's the Carol banishment. I thought I had the Carolyn banishment. Now I'm calling her Carol. Okay.
Do this thing, Carolyn, that I've noticed.
Okay, so here is, oh, someone posted, oh, this was a kind of nasty thing to say to Carolyn. I didn't like it at all. I felt the same way when Danielle said it like this.
Do you do this thing, Carolyn, that I've noticed? Acting silly and dumb. Oh my God. And you do that a lot. You Forrest Gump a lot. I think it's an act.
It's an act? Okay, so Dylan, you've seen my season. Is how I am an act?
No, that's what I love about you. You are all over the place in the best way.
I just think that you
Believe me, if not
I think just maybe leaving out the Forrest Gumping it. Maybe. But okay, they're in the heat of the moment. They're at the Traitors round table. And that is, yeah. Okay. I'm going to speed this one up and we'll listen to it. It was just so good.
Before, and I'll make again. As a faithful, what reason do we ever have to lie? Right? None. We don't have any reason to lie. Who here has needed to lie as a faithful? Right. And so it made me think, why on earth you told this lie to her when I had that bond with you from day one? I'm gonna let you speak because I have a lot to say.
That's true, Miss T.
Can you just explain for everybody what this lie supposedly was?
You can say it. Say it.
Okay.
Danielle told me that Carolyn had said my name and mentioned your name. And that is the truth.
I did not ever say Brittany's name. That was a lie. That is the truth.
I did not ever say Brittany's name. That was a lie. Danielle's like, that was the truth.
So you do this thing, Carolyn, that I've noticed, acting silly and dumb.
Oh my God.
And you do that a lot. You Forrest Gump a lot. I think it's an act.
It's an act? Okay, so Dylan, you've seen my season. Is how I am an act?
No, that's what I love about you. You are all over the place in the best way.
I just think that you have been playing this Columbo game this whole time.
I don't even know what that means.
That I thought was so funny. Danielle's like, I just think you've been playing this Columbo game the whole time. And Carolyn's like, I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what's Columbo? It's like Columbia. I don't even know what that, Danielle, girl, I don't even know what that is.
I'm talking directly to you because you and I are going to have a one-on-one. We're going to get this out the table. Because now I got the floor. So I want everyone to listen.
No, I wasn't done. I wasn't done.
Let me finish what I got to say. Then I'll let you.
This is when I was like, okay, Danielle Reyes has arrived. She has showed up. I've seen her throughout the episode. I've seen bits and pieces of her, but she's definitely here. And Carolyn, this isn't going to go well for you.
Have it. If you guys looked at the game today, it was so many tails in there. She goes, well, no one hears me. No one hears me. The game said, answer it like a traitor. And you put yourself in that game to throw people off.
Why would I do that?
Carolyn, you consistently do things that people ignore. And I said in this table several times, if you look at the behavior of the traitors, they're very aggressive and they attack. That's what traitors do.
I've never seen her be aggressive. Have
She
you
was
guys?
aggressive.
Sandoval, I've never seen her be aggressive. I've never seen her be aggressive. And Danielle's like, please, Tom, be quiet. We let you pretend you got Boston Rob out, but we're playing with grown-ups right now.
That night when she attacked me because she felt I was onto her. You attacked me that night when you heard that I start sussing you because you knew I no longer could be used as a shield. That was awful.
Don't you fake those tears.
I'm not thinking if I go out, I go out.
And then Carolyn goes, don't you fake those tears. Girl, don't you fake those tears.
But I'm going to say my piece. For the last 3 or 4 days, have I mentioned Carolyn's name at all? No. No, because I'm scared. Because I'm afraid she's onto me and that she might kill me.
And when Danielle was like, I'm afraid of her, that she's onto me and she might kill me. And she delivered it in a way where it wasn't like her over shaking like she's been doing. She saves that for after Carolyn is banished. But she was like, because I'm afraid. If I do say her name now that she's onto me and she's going to murder me. And it's like, oh, that's believable. And then she sets her up with the game being like, hello, look at the answers. She's the only one that said that. And then she's the right answer to that. And I'm like, oh, goodness.
I'm just telling you, I've kept my mouth shut. I have been quiet. Pay attention and listen to me for once, please. The floor is yours.
I felt like the pay attention to me for once, please, was a direct hit, a direct knock to Carolyn, because that's what Carolyn says. She's like, no, pay attention to me once. Then Carolyn's like, what? That's what I say.
Hey, look.
And then Carolyn's just like, this is something that's happened to me my whole life. So I don't even know what to say. And then we see this like confessional cut to of Carolyn just saying, I was worried about this and going after Danielle and not being ready and not feeling prepared. And she's like, but my impulsivity, and I get it. The impulsivity is real. And in that moment, the dopamine spikes, the impulse, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it now. Oh, it happened. Rather than planning, sitting down, getting a nice list together of talking points, maybe even in your head, you're just like, okay, I'm pulling the trigger now. And then you go for it. And then you're like, okay, this might not be the best place to have a family intervention on a vacation for a family member. That's probably, and I should probably get the other people on board before I do this. Not that I'm speaking from experience, but it's like, I felt that. I felt Carolyn in that moment with my whole heart of like, I guess I'm going for it now. And she went for it. And she didn't have all her ducks in a row. And Danielle Reyes was like, Naimum. Yes, Danielle came out with the Naimum. And Carolyn's like, Powell, better late than never. So happy to see you. So happy. HC says, Carolyn handled Danielle with kid gloves. I felt like she held back. I think it's because, like she said, she didn't feel prepared. She felt, kind of like she impulsively went after her and laid it all out there. But she just, in her heart of hearts, knew she wasn't ready. And as much as we've watched, and if you're not familiar with Danielle from Big Brother, Danielle is no pushover. Danielle does think in terms of strategy 24/7. She is strategizing. I've seen a different Danielle this season. I think she's trying to or in this game, she's trying to do the acting thing and play out these tears and this empathy and all this stuff that is just not coming off as genuine. But I think Danielle was, still kind of playing this game somewhat as if she was playing Big Brother, which it's a very different game. And also I think she was playing this game as I don't want to look like a threat. So I'm going to play down my threat level. And so I'm going to do more of the crying and the tears and hi, I'm just here and I want to help people. Do the housewives need a shield? Do they need a shield? But unfortunately it was just like a little too much. So people were like, that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. And if you can't, lie well, and I do think that I didn't see Carolyn's season of Survivor, but she did say similar on Survivor. She felt like people didn't listen to her. But with Danielle, people listen to Danielle. Danielle is a very respected player in the Big Brother community by players and fans. And she is known for having pretty badass alliances, doing some pretty cutthroat shit. She's known as the best player to never win. And arguably, with the way the rules are set now with Big Brother, she probably would have won her season. But when she first played, it was season 3, a long time ago, and the rules were kind of different. And then when she came back for All Stars, she got involved too much with Chilltown. Don't get me started with that. And also, she didn't have as many allies as BB6 people who came in. So lots of reasons there, some mistakes made. But this is the Danielle that we have seen, that we know. And then we have Carolyn ultimately banished. Tom votes for Dolores. Dolores votes for Tom. So again, like Alan Cummings said, every single roundtable, Tom, Sandy, Butt gets a vote, which is exactly what he deserves. All right. Yes. Danielle, the comeback queen. Danielle's triumphant return, Powell says. Powell and Witness are like, she's back, baby. She's back. And, Carolyn, I think, is genuinely an emotional person. And so in that moment, I think she just got caught up in her emotions, and Danielle just had receipts. She was like, and this, and this, and this. And all Carolyn had was the one thing that Danielle lied and said, I said Brittany's name, and I didn't say her name. So unfortunately for Carolyn, she was banished, and it came down to Dylan's vote. And for a moment, I was like, oh shit, I don't think Dylan can vote against Carolyn. Because when Carolyn looked at Dylan at the round table and said, hey, Dylan, we just had a conversation about this. You watched my season of Survivor, is this? He's like, no, I think you're genuine. And yeah, that conversation, it broke my heart. And he had tears in his eyes. I'm thinking, there's no way he's going to vote against Carolyn. But ultimately, Danielle's argument was so good, and she had the receipts, and she had her ducks in a row, all hidden in that hat she was wearing allegedly. And so Carolyn was voted out by Dylan's vote. And she's crying, and she goes into the circle, and here's what she has to say.
But I have to get real with myself. Being a traitor isn't fun.
So she's like, I just wanted to have a good time. I wanted to have fun, but I have to be real with myself. Okay. And being a traitor isn't fun. And then she walks off, and everyone's like, people, Dolores went back to the castle, and she was just, she's like, I don't know what to do. I never would have guessed this. Do we have wine? Is there wine? Danielle proceeds to freak out so much. She goes in a corner. Now, this is when I'm like, okay, Danielle, let's lock it up a little bit. She goes in a corner. Everyone's like, oh my God. And Danielle's like, oh my God. I wish I had a weird hat. I wish I had a weird hat to put on. Hold on. Let me see if I can find something. Let's do the rumors.
Where's Meredith Marks when I need her?
The rumors, the nastiness, the rumors, the nastiness. You want me to go there with her husband? I can go there. You can leave.
Okay. So Danielle is just like, I told you. I told you. Oh, I told you. It's okay, Buffy. I'm okay. I told you. I did. Thank you, Jesus. I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you all. I told you. And I'm like, oh, there goes my earring. Oh, it was too much. I told you. I told you guys. I told you. I told you. And she is freaking out. Where's the back of my earring? Oh, it's still in the back. There. It was like, okay, Danielle, get up. Get up. She's like, I can't feel my face. Oh my God. I'm like, Danielle, please. I did it. I knew it. They're like, you knew it, girl. She's like, you guys. So we got OG Daniel Reyes back, but we also got more dramatics that I don't think are going to help her in the future. Right? The Oscar goes to Danielle. And then maybe me, a little bit of me. It was a lot, you guys. Let's listen to a little audio of it. Look at, she's crying in the.
Oh my God. No, you did so good. You did so good.
Please take a.
It's probably A minor.
I said it. I said it. I said it. You did so good. So back at the castle, Dolores is like, give me a drink. And Danielle's like, okay, yeah. They're like, Danielle, you did it. She's like, I know, I did. And I'm like, Danielle, maybe be like, just today, something clicked in me today. Like, why has she been doing this to me? And yeah, but that was a lot. Okay. So now Danielle goes into the turret and she's more calm and she's like, this is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to get rid of Carolyn because I wanted revenge. Okay. I got revenge on Boston Rob and I got revenge on Carolyn. So she's like, do. Come on, Fritzy. Don't come with me. Okay. Do. Oh, hey, Alan. And Alan's like, oh, Danielle, you are the last traitor. You get to pick a traitor. I do, Alan? Yes, you do. Well, obviously I picked Brittany. I thought you would. Now let's go get Brittany. We will go down and give her a letter in the dungeon like we did Kate Chastain. Okay, thanks, Alan. Of course. I'm a genius. You are. May I kiss you? No. May I kiss you? Please, Alan, give me a kiss. Just one kiss. One kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me. Mwah! I think he kissed me back. And then Alan leaves. Bye, Alan. Bye, Alan. Bye. So the beautiful Alan leaves. No, Tilly passed away. That's Prince. And Tilly was gray and white. So no, that's not Tilly. Tilly's in kitty heaven. Yeah, Danielle was like, no regrets. No regrets. And now Brittany walks in. Brittany's like, what the hell is this? Oh my God, Prince is on his tummy. Because he's like, I want some. Okay, I have to give him a little tummy rub. Yes, I love you. Thank you. Thank you for acting with me. I'm a stage for mother. So then Brittany walks in. She's like, oh, what is this? Are you serious? I got to go down in the dungeon. Well, they're either going to recruit me or kill me. I'm not sure. So she heads down there. Danielle's with her robe, her cape, and we'll find out if she accepts. So it's either Brittany accepts the invitation to become a traitor or she dies. So I think she's going to accept it. But Brittany's like, oh, I kind of don't want to do this traitor thing because this is like the worst time to become a traitor because everyone is so sus. And it could be Danielle, but that seems too obvious. I'm like, oh no, girl. Danielle has been wanting you for a long time. Yeah, she's already like, Danielle, this is too obvious. So I cannot wait to see Brittany's reaction when she sees Carolyn. When she sees Danielle, not Carolyn, Joleen. Carolyn is banished. So that was the episode. It was quite the episode. A lot to process. With Carolyn, it's like, I will remember Carolyn. Do-be-dop-dop-da. Will you remember Ellen coming? Don't let your life. Right, Prince? Hi, baby. He says, let me eat these flowers. So that's the episode. Thank you, Alan, a.k.a. Prince. You guys, thank you so much. Smash that like on your way out. Shout out to all my super chatters, members, everyone who joined me today. Prince, you have anything to say? Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, you stay up here with me. He's like, geez, you're obsessed with me. I am so obsessed with you. So shout out to producer Prince. I'm sweating and a little out of breath now from having to be Danielle. You guys are beautiful, wonderful pumpkin spice babies. All of you are my beautiful, faithful traitors. And I'll be back tomorrow with a No Offense, All Offense with Chell, who actually watched the episode tonight. So we'll talk about it some more tomorrow at 11 a.m. for No Offense, All Offense. Please comment after the video post so I can see what you guys thought, since I didn't get to all of your comments. Again, shout out to Pop Culture, Chickenhead, and HFG, and everyone in the live chat. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful night. And always remember to enjoy yourself, because it's later than you think to get mad at.